we had to pare some things back in practice today. I think we got a lot of good work done, but we're getting to the tail end of spring, and we had quite a few injuries, but certainly appreciate the efforts by our players and coaches to be resourceful. We went half paths today, but I thought we worked on some things within the kicking game and elements of offense and defense, and our guys are engaged, so we're encouraged about that. We were able to get some work done that was non-contact with our guys who were injured, say like Carl and KP and stuff like that. So that was good as well.
What have you seen? I know, how did they bounce back? Scrimmage, that was a big thing to come back. The first practice afterwards, was it kind of what you expected, or was it better than you expected?
I thought it was
maybe?
better than what we expected, but we've got to have measured because we weren't double repping. So the amount of fatigue and stress that they were under was a little bit less, but we'll ramp it up on Thursday again. But this team's got a good attitude, and I'm really happy about their attention to detail, trying to get better and take another step forward this next year.
What was your assessment of the scrimmage, Coach, on Saturday, and what you saw out there?
Yeah, some of the things I thought it was probably our best performance by our offensive line that we've had in a long time. I thought pad level was really good, and execution, blocking the right guys. I thought our running backs ran the ball hard, and so that was the biggest takeaway that I left the scrimmage with. And we had some really mixed performances thus far from that group. So whether it be the tight ends, fullbacks, tailbacks, or offensive line, that was our best day.
Coach, in terms of, like you mentioned, getting guys involved if they're not 100%, is that something kind of new that you guys have done, or is that something that you've done?
Well, a little bit. I think some of it is we have so many who are going to contribute next year who have not been able to do some things. So we were able to stage some things today that was a non-contact portion of practice to keep some of those guys engaged. And I think that, sometimes even though they're seasoned players, they're still college players, they're not professional players, and so for them to be able to go out and do some work like that was really good.
You mentioned you were indoors for your scrimmage. You did some kicking game work. Any thoughts from your kicking game, whether it's with Coop at kicking or Tim at punting? Any thoughts of that so far?
We did not do any kicking indoors, so we're going to do a lot of that. I think we've been, I would say, inconsistent. We're not as far along as what we need to be with our specialists. I think Jesse's doing a good job as a snapper, but we've been a little bit inconsistent with our punting and our place kicking. Then that's going to need to improve for us to be successful this fall.
You mentioned the O-line. Anybody else stand out from Saturday's scrimmage action?
A couple guys that I thought did some good things. Defensively, Elijah Halliburton really made some nice tackles, so we're really pleased with him. The other guys offensively, Aiden Eberhardt continues to make some plays out there. He's showing up. So I think it's always dangerous to pick out a couple guys, but those guys caught my eyes.
In terms of your veteran receivers, the guys that are healthy right now, just overall, what have you seen from them this spring?
The guys that are out there?
Yeah, a few of them at least.
I think they've been okay. I'd like to maybe see them play a little bit better.
Craig, you got another scrimmage on Saturday. You got the spring game, and you said you kind of dialed things back today, but do you still feel like as get through these last couple weeks that you can still be as physical and still get the assessment you want as you're getting closer to wrap this up?
We're going to do everything we can. There's always a balance. There's only so many train wrecks in a guy, and during spring football to go out and do the things that we're doing, you're going to have some injuries, and that's the cost of doing the business. We're going to strike a balance. The spring game, I think, is more of an opportunity for our players to play in a game-like situation. There'll be some evaluation that's done off of that, but the majority is going to be done on practice and those scrimmages as opposed to the spring game. So our emphasis is going to be get our players evaluated, have enough players to play the spring game. It may look a little different than we normally would, but we've got some hard practices left, and we're going to need to take advantage of them.
10 in, where are you at quarterback-wise right now?
I'd say back and forth between the two guys. Both of them have made progress, though. So we're encouraged about that. But our hopes is to come out and name a starter at the end of spring.
I know we talked last week about Victor Jones. You really like this kid.
Right.
You could even see him some time at defensive tackle. Is he seeing more time at D tackle than D end, or is it still a mix? And what are your thoughts on him?
Well, he didn't have any practice reps today. He's got a thigh contusion.
Oh, okay.
And so we're hopes to have him back on Thursday. It may be a little bit doubtful, but the reps that he was doing, he was really, really, really good at. really good and strong.
Is Charles Hicks out right now as well?
Yes, Charles Hicks has got an MCL injury, it's probably 6 to 8 weeks.